Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Haridas, not only do I give you love of God, prema bhakti, but anyone who sees you or hears about you is going to get it. When Haridasa Thakura came to Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was personally greeting all the Vaishnavas. Each and every devotee, he would personally give them a garland. Lord Chaitanya would personally decorate their body with sandalwood pulp and embrace them with such love. Then he brought them all to his home, and he arranged just the kind of residential quarters that each and every one of them would be the most comfortable in. Arranged just the prasad that they liked. He was so meticulous in the way he served the devotees. And each devotee who came in to his room, he was embracing them and praising their glories, as if he had so many mouths. And he asked somebody, where is Haridasa Thakura? They said, where is Haridas? And they saw that down the dusty dirt path, Haridas was laying there offering his full Dandavat pranams, chanting the holy names. Distance away. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to one devotee, go pick up Haridas and bring him here. They went to Haridas, and he was laying there. He said, Lord Gauranga wants you to come to the Gambhira. He's calling for you to his own room. He said, no, I am too fallen. I am too lowly. If I go there, I will contaminate that place. I will remain here. Lord Chaitanya honored him. This is the way he was feeling. You see, when you say something to God, when you say something to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he hears the intention of your heart. In your prayers, he does not just hear the words, he hears the intention. In your services, he doesn't just see what is offered, he sees the intention in which it is offered. Sincerity means to be genuine. Haridas really felt that way, that he was so contaminated. So Lord Chaitanya honored that, and he gave everybody their loving exchange, gave everyone gifts, gave everyone prasad, gave everyone residences. When everyone was gone, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went right to that dusty road to where Haridas was, picked him up and embraced him. And Haridas said, don't touch me, I'm contaminated. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am embracing you to purify myself. And it's not that the Lord's just saying that. That's his bhava. That's his feeling. Before yajnas, we offer a prayer. Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavastam gatopi va yasmarit pundarikaksam sabhayabhyantara suchi. Whether we're purified or unpurified, or passing through so many situations of life, when we remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is pavitra, completely pure, we are purified both within and without. The Lord is supremely pure. The scriptures described like the sun. The sun never gets contaminated by any situation, but can purify everything. The sun purifies stool and urine but doesn't get contaminated by touching it. Krishna's all pure. His holy name is supremely pure. Even the greatest, Dinahina Yatachilo Harinamudharilo Tarasakshi Jagai Madhai. Jagai and Madhai's sins were so great that even Yamaraj and his secretary Chitragupta were having very difficult time just calculating them. Every day, many of us have a quota of chanting at least 16 rounds. Well, Jagai and Madhai, they had their quotas too. How many women they would rape every day, how many people, how many Brahmins they would murder, how many cows they would eat, how many bottles of liquor they would drink, how many houses they would burn down, how many old ladies they would beat up. Hare Krishna. This is not an exaggeration. Sometimes in dramas we see of devotees, Jagai and Madhai going, and everyone laughs like this. It's like a comedy. But please understand, if you saw the real Jagai and Madhai, you would not laugh. You would be scared to death. The biggest terrorists and criminals and gangsters of this world today are like little ants with broken legs compared to Jagai and Madhai. Jagai and Madhai are Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna in their past lives with all those powers. They were bad. But yet, just by chanting Krishna's names, all their sins were completely removed forever. And they attained prema bhakti. What is the purifying power of Krishna and his name? And here is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate, the most merciful of all incarnations, supremely pure. Krishna tasting the absolute supreme purity of Sri Radharani's love and distributing that love to the world. And yet here is the absolute pure supreme truth embracing a person who is considered to be a malecha and a yavana and an outcast. And he's embracing him. And Lord Chaitanya, with tears in his eyes, is saying, I am embracing you to become purified. And he's feeling that way. The Lord feels purified by his devotee. This is love. This cannot be understood through intellectual, logical research. This can only be understood by realizing what is love, what is God's love, and what is a devotee's love. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally arranged just the perfect place for Haridasa Thakura. And Haridas was not allowed to go into Jagannath's temple. And he wouldn't dare even try. Can you imagine? He was just living about a 5-minute walk from Jagannath's temple. And he never got to see Jagannath. He had to wait until Ratha Yatra. And even then, only on the street. He wasn't allowed in Gundicha temple, nor would he try. But Srila Prabhupada explains very fondly how Lord Jagannath himself would come out of the temple every day in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to meet with Haridasa Thakur for 2 to 3 hours every day. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bring him Mahaprasad of all different varieties and sit and have Hari Katha with him for 3 hours, for hours every day. And how the Lord would enjoy the association of his devotee. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, of all places in Puri, they specifically chose to live with Haridasa Thakura. Now I'll begin the class. One day, Lord Chaitanya's personal servant, Govinda, came to Siddha Bakula, Haridasa Thakura's kutir. And he found Haridas was laying down on his back, chanting the holy names, Hare Krishna. And Govinda said, "Please get up, Haridas. Is there something wrong? I have brought on the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasad. Please get up and eat prasad." And Haridas said, "I cannot. I have not finished my vow of chanting 300,000 names today. So how can I eat prasad?" But at the same time, Mahaprasad is Krishna himself. How can I not honor the prasad? So this was his dilemma. He didn't want to eat it, but he couldn't not eat it. Haridasa Thakur showed his example. He offered his sincere, heartfelt obeisances to the prasad. He offered prayers of love, respect, and worship to the prasad. And then he took a tiny little particle of it and ate it. That's how he honored the prasad. The next day, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. He had heard the report from Govinda. And he said, "Haridas, tell me, are you well?" And Haridas said, "My body is quite well, but my mind is not." Lord Chaitanya said, "Well, what is the problem?" He said, "I am not able to finish my regulation of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, I am in a diseased condition." Herein, Srila Prabhupada writes in purport that we all have a regulation for chanting the holy names. Srila Prabhupada prescribed 16 rounds for those who were very serious, minimum. Said if we do not complete our chanting according to this regulation, we should understand that spiritually we are in a diseased condition. But Prabhupada said not only just chanting, but chanting in such a way that we actually can hear it and focus our mind on it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Haridasa Thakur, he said, "You are so old now. It's not possible for you to finish chanting 3 lakhs every day. Reduce the number of rounds that you're chanting. You have incarnated in this world for the purpose of spreading the glories of the Harinam Sankirtan movement, and you have fulfilled the purpose of your incarnation. You have done it. You have shown the highest example. But now you're old. There's no need. Please, reduce the number of rounds. Should I continue? Thank you, thank you. Haridasa Thakura replied, "My dear Lord, kindly hear my plea. I was born in an inferior family. My body is abominable. My acts are very low. Therefore, I am the lowest and most condemned of all men. I am unseeable. I am untouchable. Yet you have accepted me as your servant. And in doing so, you have elevated me to the platform of Vaikuntha. My dear Lord, you are the supreme independent personality of Godhead. By your will, you can make the entire universe dance as you like it to dance. And even me, you have made me dance according to your wishes. An example. In the house of Advaitacharya, you awarded me the highest, most prestigious position of giving the first remnants of his Shraddha. Even though I was born in a family of Malechas, and I am a Malecha. My Lord, for a very long time I have had a desire. Please fulfill my desire. I know that you are independent and you are supreme. And if you like, you can try to fulfill my desire. It is the one desire I have been longing for a long time. I feel that very soon you will perform the final chapter of your pastime within this material world. I do not want to see this closing chapter of your material world pastimes. Haridasa Thakura is telling, I will not be able to bear seeing you leave this world. And I feel that it's coming very soon. Therefore, before that pastime is performed, I beg of you, my Lord, allow my body to fall down at your lotus feet. Allow me to clasp those lotus feet and press them firmly on my heart. Allow my eyes to see your beautiful lotus-like face. And with my tongue, chanting your holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, let my body fall down before you. He's praying to die. Lord Chaitanya heard this and became very emotional. He said, Haridas, Certainly, because you're such a great devotee, whatever you wish, Krishna must fulfill. But why are you asking for this? What about me? All of my pleasure in this world is coming due to your association. Why do you want to leave me behind? Haridas replied, "My Lord, why are you creating this illusion? What is my value? He said, there are so many important and good devotees. You have millions of devotees who are so far superior to me that they are fit to sit on top of my head. They are actually very important. They are doing significant things for your movement. I'm doing nothing. If an insect dies, what is the loss? If an insignificant ant passes away, what is the loss to this material world? My Lord, I am insignificant. I'm begging you, please fulfill this one desire. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very grave. And he left. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought his most intimate devotees with him to the bhajan kutir of Srila Haridasa Thakura. There was Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Vakreshwar Pandit, Jagadananda Pandit, Shankar Pandit, Kashishwar Pandit. These are the devotees that are named. So many great souls. When they came in, Haridasa Thakur offered his obeisances, dandavats to every single devotee. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at him and said, Haridas, what is the news? And Haridasa's reply, whatever mercy you bestow upon me. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew his heart. He told Swarup Damodar Goswami to begin kirtan. All around Haridasa Thakur, the devotees were very loudly chanting the holy name. Then Sri Gauranga began to extol the glories of Thakur Haridas as if he had 5 mouths, deriving great happiness, bliss, describing the glories of his devotee. How beautiful. Machchita madgata prana bodhiyanta parasparam khatyanthashchama nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Bhagavad Gita tells how my devotees love to gather together and they derive the greatest happiness discussing my glories. Harikatha, discussing the glories of the Lord, is the greatest happiness for the devotees. Speaking the glories, hearing the glories, chanting the glories. But that person who gives us the highest bliss by chanting his glories, or Sri Radharani, her glories, Mahaprabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Radha and Krishna is there as Mahaprabhu. What gives him the greatest pleasure? Chanting the glories of his devotees. Haridasa Thakura surrendered his life at all risk to chant the glories of the Lord 24 hours a day. And what was the reciprocation? That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found the greatest happiness chanting the glories of Haridasa Thakura. And all the devotees were struck with wonder to hear Lord Chaitanya so blissfully describing Haridasa Thakura. Then Srila Haridasa Thakura took the dust of the feet of every single devotee there and applied that dust to his head, not as a ritual. When you take the dust of the feet of a devotee on your head, Krishna sees your intent. If you're doing it as a ritual, you'll get a little purification. But the real spirit is the highest part of my body, my head. I'm putting it under the dust of the lowest part of your body, your feet. That means you are great, I am insignificant. I am your servant. From the heart of heart, I want to serve you because you are Prabhu, you are master. And I am das, anu, das, insignificant servant. That was the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was the mood of Srila Haridasa Thakura when he was putting the dust of the devotees' feet on his head. That was his heart. That is what the Lord is seeing and feeling. For a Vaishnav, the dust of the feet of another Vaishnav is the most sacred, treasured, invaluable attainment in this entire creation of Lord Brahma. Pure gold necklaces, pure gold ornaments, beautiful marble palaces, Rolls Royce, Mercedes-Benz, owning 10,000 acres of land in South Bombay. What's it worth? You can't take any of it with you after you die. It cannot awaken the treasure of love of God in your heart. What really is its value? Spiritually, it has no value. Unless it's used in Krishna's service, then it has value. But the dust of the feet of a devotee could liberate you from all suffering forever. The dust of a feet of a devotee can awaken prema bhakti, ecstatic love. What a treasure! How much do we appreciate? And you see, when you take the dust of the feet of a devotee on your head, you'll get benefit. But according to how much you value it, appreciate it, and recognize its value, you're going to get that much more benefit. So this is there's several couple thousand people here today, inside and outside and everywhere else. A lot of dust. And in the monsoon season, it mixes with water and it becomes both both Charanamrit and dust together. This place is really full of riches. So Haridasa Thakur took the dust of every devotee, put it on his head, in such a spirit of servitude. Then he pressed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful golden lotus feet upon his heart. And all the devotees, including Lord Chaitanya, chanted Harinam Sankirtan. As this chanting filled the entire atmosphere, Thakur Haridas looked up at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's beautiful moon-like face. His eyes were like two bumblebees gazing upon it. And tears were flowing from his eyes incessantly as Haridas repeatedly chanted, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri is Radha, Shri is Radha Rani, Krishna is Sham Sundar, Chaitanya. Who is Lord Chaitanya, Radha and Krishna? This was the name he was chanting again and again and again, as all the other devotees were loudly chanting Harinam. And in that state, Haridasa Thakur gave up his life. The devotees were astonished. Immediately they all remembered the passing of Bhishma. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Bhishma simply waited in a bed of arrows for many weeks in the cold of winter for Krishna to return. He knew that Krishna would return because Krishna always satisfies the innermost desires of his devotees. And in the presence of Lord Krishna, Bhishma gave up his life. When Haridasa Thakur gave up his life, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so inundated with feelings of ecstatic jubilation and separation. He lifted Haridasa Thakur's body up and put it on his lap, then began to dance. Vakreshwar Pandit was dancing, Swarup Damodar Goswami and all the others were chanting, Ramananda Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. They were all dancing and chanting as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing throughout the entire courtyard, holding the body of Srila Haridasa Thakur. Mahaprabhu's eyes flooding with tears of love for his devotees as everyone was loudly celebrating the passing of Haridas by the chanting of the holy names. Mahaprabhu couldn't give up this body. The same body that was condemned by most of the Hindu society. The supreme absolute truth, the Lord of all lords, the ultimate goal of all religions, couldn't give up holding the dead corpse of that person. Isn't that amazing? Because corpses are considered contaminated, yes? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu couldn't give up the corpse. He was so attached to Haridasa Thakur. Now, sannyasis are not supposed to be attached. And he's the crest jewel of all sannyasis. But the ultimate detachment is to be completely attached to Krishna, to Krishna's devotees, to Krishna Katha, to Krishna Nam, to Krishna Seva. That is detachment of its highest sense. Swarup Damodar Goswami somehow or other stopped the kirtan and said, we have to perform the last rites. So they quickly made a carrier for Haridas that looked like a spaceship, according to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. A spaceship. And they were carrying him through the lanes of Puri. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was leading the Nagar Sankirtan procession, dancing in ecstasy. And they came to the sea. And they bathed the body of Haridasa Thakura with the seawater. And as they were bathing it, Lord Chaitanya proclaimed for all time to come that because Haridasa Thakura's body is today being bathed in this sea is now so pure, it will forever be a place of holy pilgrimage. And as they were pouring water over the feet of Haridas, every one of the devotees was catching the water and drinking it for their purification. And they were in ecstasy. This is very, very amazing. These are sannyasis. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is very, very highly placed Brahmin, practically the guru of the king. All these devotees. Corpse is supposed to be contaminated. And salt water doesn't taste very good. But they're drinking the salt water that's washing the feet of a corpse. Drinking it, sprinkling it on their head. Considering this the great treasure to get purified, to honor and worship this devotee, is absolutely pure. After bathing his body, they had dug a hole in the sand, they placed the body in it, and then they began to offer all sorts of Mahaprasad of Jagannath, sandalwood and different types of clothes and food and everything, garlands, flowers. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with great feeling, deep feeling, he started the process with his own loving hands of covering the body of Haridasa Thakura with sand. Such an offering of love. Then all the devotees went around that pit and began to offer sand. In bhakti, it's beyond material consideration. It's the intent. How many of you would like sand thrown in your face? Is sand much of an offering? Offering gulab jamuns or kichoris, you like. But somebody offers you sand. But Lord Chaitanya is offering the sand with love and devotion. And all the devotees are offering sand with love and devotion. They're offering it as an expression of their deepest, most profound love, gratitude to Haridasa Thakura. Sand. And in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu buried the body. Then they put a something there to mark the place. They fenced it off so that other people would not step over it. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees, they circumambulated it several times while they danced and chanted in ecstasy. Then they went into the ocean to bathe, and they were splashing each other, and according to Kaviraj Goswami, in jubilation. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leads the devotees from the beach all the way to Jagannath's temple, where he starts going to each and every shopkeeper personally. And he's saying, I'm a beggar. Today I have come to beg Mahaprasad from each of you to glorify, honor, and worship Srila Haridasa Thakura. Amazing. Here is a person who all his life, except for a few devotees, was ridiculed, blasphemed, and rejected. Here is a man who was never in his life allowed into Jagannath's temple, and was too humble to even try to go in. And yet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jagannath himself, is begging publicly in front of everyone to honor and worship him. The shopkeepers were just coming out and giving basket after basket after basket, filled, overfilled with food, with prasad. And Swarup Damodar Goswami went to the shopkeepers and said, please, please, just give 4 handfuls of each preparation. That will be enough. And he asked Lord Chaitanya that we will do this begging. You please. There was so much prasad being brought. People were so enthusiastic. The whole town of Puri wanted to glorify Haridasa Thakura. Just see the impact he made in people's lives. And then Kashi Mishra and so many others were sending large quantities of prasad. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had everybody lined up. All the devotees, the people of Puri, they were all lined up to honor the prasad. Lord Chaitanya himself began to serve. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not inclined to eating small portions of prasad. And he had such a deep enthusiasm to give so much of his heart to the devotees that every plate, instantly, every plate that he served, he put more than 5 men could possibly eat on it. That was how enthusiastic he was to serve the Vaishnavas. And Swarup Damodar Goswami saw this very difficult scene. He said, nobody's going to eat until you eat, my Lord, so let us serve. And you sit with Brahmananda Bharati, Brahmananda Puri, Paramananda Puri. You take with the very senior sannyasis and let us serve. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, Jagadananda Pandit, Shankar Pandit, and Kashishwar Pandit, they were the leaders of the serving team. This is extraordinary in itself. This is a class in itself. But I know that you're hungry, so I'm not going to. Serving is an exalted position. Serving prasad is a very exalting position. The topmost of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotees were serving the prasad to the Vaishnavas and to the common people. Can you imagine? Swarup Damodar Goswami is Lalita Saki, the foremost of the intimate maidservant friends of Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world. the very intimate personal associate and secretary. This is the highest position there was. He was the personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya.